So my job today really is just to sort of set the scene, and I would just like to begin by echoing Carolyn's words. We're absolutely delighted to see so many of you here today. We have standing room only, so we have exceeded our expectations. And could I also just thank everybody who has made an input into the work that Sue and Sharon have done in terms of the review that's been carried out by team, because without your input, we really wouldn't have anything to present to you today. So we're really appreciative of that. So just to say a little bit about, I suppose, tourism and the direction of tourism and where we hope tourism is going to go. So those of you who have been around for a while will probably know that 10 years ago, when she was the Minister for the Economy, or the Minister for DETI as it was then, Arlene Foster set a target to deliver a £1 billion tourism industry by 2020. And last year, total tourism spend in Northern Ireland was £926 million. And this year, the indications are that we will probably see growth again this year of about 5 to 6%. So if we sort of take 1.06 of 926 million, we will not be far away from being that £1 billion industry by the end of 2018, and we certainly expect to hit that target by 2019 and definitely before 2020. So I think it's fair to say that tourism is growing faster than anybody at that point in time had anticipated. And I think achieving that £1 billion target is going to be a very significant landmark for the industry. Certainly over the last 6 months, I think it's fair to say that tourism is now starting to be recognised, or its place within the Northern Ireland economy is starting to be recognised. And I think that the new hotels that have been built in Belfast and in Derry and beyond have sort of highlighted to people how important it's been to the regeneration of the city and how important it is in terms of the jobs that it creates across Northern Ireland. Indeed, over the last 2 years, there's something like 3,000 new jobs have been created in the tourism sector. So that's 5 new jobs every day that the industry is creating. But our ambition would be to see that the tourism industry double in value again over the next decade. And we believe there's no reason for that not to happen. There is very significant potential for growth. If we look at our core markets, we think there's substantial opportunities. I'll say a little bit about that. And Northern Ireland, as you all know, has come from a low base in comparison to places like the Republic of Ireland or Scotland, or perhaps Wales or places like Cornwall. And if we compare ourselves to those areas, we're probably performing at half the level we would like to. So if we were on a par with everywhere else, we should be delivering that £2 billion today, but we're not. So that is not an unreasonable ambition for us to deliver against in the future. And I suppose to do that, there are a number of things that we absolutely need to concentrate on. And the first I would say is, both as an industry and as an industry development body like ourselves, we need to be visitor-centric. We are operating in a very competitive marketplace. There are new destinations coming onto the market almost by the week, and therefore we need to be very clear as to who our customers are and what our customers want. So there's been a lot of work done by Tourism Ireland in the international marketplace and ourselves over the last number of years, and we are very clear as to where we think growth is going to come from. The domestic market is still important. It's worth over £250 million a year. The Republic of Ireland is a market which is, I suppose, still got huge potential for us. We still only get about 3% of the total spend of tourists from the island of Ireland spending money in the island of Ireland. So there's huge opportunity for growth. Of course, GB will remain a very important market to us, and France, Germany and the United States. We currently get about 7% of spend on the island of Ireland from those markets. So there's absolutely no reason why that can't be doubled if we can provide the right sorts of experiences that people want. And again, we're very focused on key segments. We know that the person who wants to go to Spain for a sun holiday is not the sort of person who comes here. And the people that you deal with typically will be those people from the culturally curious sector or great escapers, so people who want to get out into the countryside. But essentially all of these people are very much looking for new experiences. So we're very clear as to the segments that we're looking for, and there's been a lot of work done identifying what the specific needs of those sectors in the markets available through market reviews that Tourism Ireland have done or we ourselves have done. So again, we've got a mine of information that we can provide to you that will allow you to sort of really understand what those requirements are, and indeed that has formed part of the work that's been done by team as part of this. Everything is moving towards experiences. The whole industry globally now is experience driven. It's about people wanting to go to a place, get under the skin of the place that they're in, the people who live there, enjoying its landscape. And guides are critical to delivering those world-class experiences. And that's whether you're a guide in a visitor attraction, whether you're working for a DMC or a tour operator, or you're the person who's, I suppose, knitting a lot of these experiences together and putting something into the marketplace that allows us to go out and sell things which are, truly world class and really meeting the needs and expectations of those visitors and giving them something memorable to go away with, and more importantly, encouraging those people who they interface with to come back and drive that growth. And the third thing I would say is, as an organisation, we are trying to become much more business focused. We're trying to be clear about what it is that we're trying to do. There are a very large number of small, medium-sized enterprises and micro-enterprises and one-man businesses who have not had the support that they probably have needed in the past in order to develop and grow. And part of this tourism enterprise development programme, which Carolyn heads up, is really about looking towards meeting the needs of those businesses. And we've done a significant amount of research with the University of Ulster to try and identify what those needs are. And as this programme develops and rolls out, it will start to meet those needs. And today, really, I suppose, is about understanding the needs of the tour guide sector. What are the opportunities in the marketplace? What does that mean in terms of the development of the industry? And what can we do to support that? And that's something that we would like to see roll out the back end of that as an action plan that we can pull together where we can start to support the businesses that you are all in. And of course, we're in a people business, and businesses are run by people, and really it's about trying to identify what are the development needs for those people so that we can drive that growth forward. I think it's fair to say that no matter what industry sector you're currently involved in, everything shows that productivity these days is being driven by being more connected and more collaborative. And there's been an interesting piece of work done by the Cabinet Office, which has looked at why is the UK industry, or why is industry in the UK flatlining whilst other countries are moving forward and becoming much more productive. And the core to that is they have found other countries, the industries in those countries have been much more connected, and they've worked in a much more collaborative way. And that applies to the automotive industry, the aerospace industry, any industry that you would look at. And I would say no industry is much more dependent upon working in a connected and a collaborative way than the tourist industry is today. And what we are looking towards doing as we move forward is supporting and enhancing collaboration and developing clusters, whether that be on a geographical area or a sectoral basis, in order to get businesses working more collectively together, so that together they can build those experiences that we can sell, which brings visitors to you and grows your businesses and makes them much more sustainable and profitable. So this is for everybody's benefit that we want to do that. Might be being a little bit provocative here, but one thing that we have done over the last year is we've tried very hard to get an organisation called the Northern Ireland Tourism Alliance up and running. Because I think one of the issues that the tourism industry has had, it has never had one collective voice where people speak on behalf of the industry in itself. So if you look at the Republic of Ireland or Scotland or England, they will have a tourism alliance, or they will have a tourism industry confederation. And that brings together airlines, airports, ports, ferries, hotels, bars, restaurants, tour guides, everybody who's part of that ecosystem who speaks on behalf of the industry. So the more collective we become, and the more connected we become, and we speak on behalf of the industry, the more likely we are to get government to listen, the more likely we are to get resources, and gives us the sort of money and resources that we need to put programmes in place to support businesses like your own. So we need to be much less fragmented right across the piece. And I would suggest, if we could, and it's not a choice for us, but if we could get to a point, where we had, everyone within the sector speaking collectively together, that would be a real strength. We also have to be in the business of adding value, and I think from your perspective as people working in the industry, that's about adding value to the visitor, to the tourist, to the consumer. How do you add value? How do you improve their experience? How do you make the product that they buy or the service that they're buying even better and something that they will want to come back and get more of, or encourage other people to come back and get more of? And from our perspective, it's about being in the business of adding value for you folk in the room. What is it that we do that can add value to you? Because if we're not adding value to the industry, then we shouldn't be doing the things that we're at. And again, one of the key things that we wanted to get out of this report was to establish what are those needs of the industry and what do we need to do to work with you to help drive your business. And the last thing I would say is, as I said, and I suppose if we looked at the first slide, there is huge opportunity. There is definitely the opportunity for this business to double in size. And if we look at the number of tour operators who are now operating here, the growth in the incentive market, which is a market which virtually didn't exist in Northern Ireland up until recently, the numbers of cruise ships which are coming in, and we could possibly see a 50% increase in the numbers of people coming off cruise ships next year. There is a massive opportunity for growth, and particularly a massive opportunity for growth in the guiding sector. And I suppose from our perspective, growing the guiding sector is going to be absolutely critical because, as I said previously, that is critical to the experiences that people get when they come here on the ground. You bring the place to life, and you connect all of the things that need to be connected to create those experiences that people really want to buy. So just to finish up by saying, once again, thank you very much for coming along this morning. It's a dreadful day, so having to make the effort to come out, we really do appreciate that. I'd like to say thank you to Sue and Sharon for the work that they've done, and I hope you have a really sort of productive day, and hopefully at the back end of this we will be in a position to identify how we can support you in your business as you move forward. Thank you very much.